everybody, hope you're doing good. So today I'm going to be planting another one of my garden beds, and today I'm going to be focusing on mainly things that are going to be climbing up the trellis. So back here I have a chicken wire fencing. So in this bed I'm going to be planting stuff all around the back side of this. The varieties that we are going to be focusing on today are, first of all, I have tall single nasturtium. So these are yellow and orange variety. These actually get 5 feet in height. So it says that you can space these 8 to 12 inches apart. So I'm hoping that these will integrate very well with all of the other things that I'm going to be growing on there, because I'm just going to kind of mix these in with everything else. The next on my list is golden Jenny melon. So I'm going to be growing some other melons, of course, but this is one that's relatively small and I think is going to do well on this trellis. So the description on this says that they were developed by a master seed saver, Merle Needens. Short vines just go wild, producing succulent, sweet 2-pound beauties. So it says that they are early and productive. I'm hoping that these won't put too much weight on the trellis here, and that they're also going to have plenty of room to do their thing. So I think that this is going to work out well. The next thing that I'm going to be planting today is going to be Kentucky Wonder pole bean. So you can actually soak the seeds of pretty much any beans, or most seeds anyway, overnight to speed up the germination, but I do find that the beans germinate pretty quickly anyway. So I'm just going to directly sow these into the ground, and for these you'll want to place them about every 6 or 8 inches, and then you can thin them if you want to. So the next variety on the list is Boston pickling cucumber. The description on this packet is it's an old heirloom dating back to 1880. So the vigorous vines give large yields of smooth green fruit. They're excellent for pickles, very crisp and good quality. So these are probably just going to be a basic, great pickling variety. And I have another cucumber variety that I'm going to give a try this year. So this is the Bayat Alpha cucumber. So this variety is very popular in the Mediterranean. It was developed in Israel at Kibbutz Farm. It has fine flavor, high yields. It's burpless, which means that it doesn't have the spots on the back. And it also has a great shelf life. So it's superior for slicing and pickling. Okay, so now that we've gone over the varieties, I'll just kind of explain how I'm going to lay these out and why. So if you don't know, if you're new here, hi, my name is Anna, this is Twine&Sage, and we do gardening here. If you don't know, my garden is actually like half shaded here. So along this run, I have this first section here, probably up to this pole. It gets full sun, and then all down the rest, I would say that that's mostly shaded. It'll still get like 3 or 4 hours of sun a day easy, but it's less shaded. So for the first section of this, I'm going to be planting the golden Jenny melons, so they'll go right here. And then the next section, I think I'm going to do cucumbers because I get a little bit more light, you know, as it fades down through that way. And from my experience and from what I've read, cucumbers appreciate a little bit more sunlight than the beans do. So I'm going to be doing the cucumbers next, and then the beans all the way down at the end where it gets a lot more shade. So for the nasturtiums, like I said before, I'm just going to interplant these and just kind of go down the line. I'll plant, I don't know, I'm not going to overplant these. I'll probably just do 1 or 2 vines per section of fence. Alright, so first we're going to start with the golden Jenny melons right here in our full sun spot. With melons, these are ones that you want to plant in mounds, so you'll just get some dirt. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a mound, but just make sure that you put several seeds in an area and then thin it to like maybe 3 vines or so. Okay, so now I'm just going to take, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 seeds just to make sure I have at least 3 come up. And I'm planting these near the back of my trellis here. Right here, so I've just got about 5 seeds there, and I'm just lightly covering these up. So with the golden Jenny melons, they are a smaller variety, so we only have to go about 3 feet apart with our little clusters here. So I'm going to do 3 along this section of fence. And then that will actually take out what I have left of my seeds here. And then we're just going to press them into the soil. So now that we have our melons planted, I'm going to come back and in between these, I'm going to do 1 or 2 nasturtium seeds. If you want vining type of the nasturtium, look for the tall varieties. If it doesn't say tall, then they're probably only going to get like a foot or 2. Here's what our seeds look like. And then I'm just going to take and place 2 in each little spot just to make sure I have at least 1 come up. And then I'm going to do a section here. So we're doing great with our companion planting, and we also have marigolds planted here in front. So as these things grow up, what I'm also going to do is come back and interplant some basil. If you've seen the tomato tour, then you've seen that I had a lot of basil popping up in some places. So I've got to dig that up and put it somewhere else, or it's just going to be way too overgrown. So this will be a great place for that. I definitely recommend putting some kind of smelly herb with any kind of thing like this that may be a little bit prone to pest. Okay, so we're just moving on down to our cucumber section now. So we are going to start with the Boston pickling cucumber, and I'm going to do half of it in the Boston pickling and the other half in the Bayet alpha. So with your cucumbers, you'll just want to plant the seeds for these about every 18 to 36 inches apart. Okay, so I'm just going to take one and just take and press it into the soil every couple of feet. Now, I know a lot of people are pretty exact about measuring, but I just kind of do abouts on these. And I'm doing about 1.5 feet apart. So I got 3 seeds there. And you know what? I only put 1 seed in each of those holes. So I'm going to come back and sprinkle another one just in case. Not necessary, but the one time I don't do that, I'm not going to have the seeds come up. I just know it. And then while we're right here in this spot, I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple of nasturtium seeds. So now I'm going to do the Bayet alpha, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to place these about 1.5 feet apart. It looks like I only have a few seeds left of these. I'm just coming back between these with the same nasturtium seeds, and also have another volunteer tomato down here. And also either a squash or a cucumber plant. I'm not sure which it is. They're popping up everywhere, and I think that we have different things. So lastly, we are going to plant our Kentucky Wonder pole beans. If you're not familiar, these do climb up to be 6 feet, so they'll need a pretty good trellis system, at least something tall or something to climb over. So I'm going to go ahead and plant these. It says to plant them every 4 inches and then thin them to every 8 inches. So I'm going to just disperse these throughout the back of the bed here. All right, now I'm just going to add in my nasturtiums. I'm going to do a couple of sections in here to add in some beauty and attract pollinators. So after that, all we need to do is just water everything in. All right, well, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope that this gave you a little bit of inspiration for your companion planting, and I'd be interested to know what you guys are doing for your companion planting if it's something different. Anyway, if you are new here and would like to see more content around gardening, food preservation, houseplants, things like that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you've been around, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye!